Just yesterday morning, they let me know you were gone. Suzanne, the plans they made put an end to you. I walked out this morning and I wrote down this song. Just can't remember who to send it to. I've seen fire and I've seen rain, seen sunny days that I thought would never end, seen lonely times when I could not find a friend. But I always thought that I'd see you again. Won't you look down upon me, Jesus? You gotta help me make a stand. Just gotta see me through another day. My body's aching and my time is at hand. I won't make it any other way. Oh, I've seen fire and I've seen rain, seen sunny days that I thought would never end, seen lonely times when I could not find a friend. But I always thought that I'd see you again. Walking my mind to an easy time, my back turned towards the sun. Lord knows when the cold wind blows, it'll turn your head around. Well, there's hours of time on the telephone line to talk about things to come. Sweet dreams and flying machines in pieces on the ground. Oh, I've seen fire and I've seen rain, I've seen sunny days that I thought would never end, seen lonely times when I could not find a friend. But I always thought that I'd see you, baby, one more time again now. Thought I'd see you one more time again. There's just a few things coming my way this time around now. Thought I'd see you, thought I'd see you, fire and rain now. Na 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 na, na 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 na. Hello, that's Fire and Rain by James Taylor. It's a little bit different arrangement that I do. It's not exactly the way James Taylor does it because, frankly, I'm not James Taylor. I'd like to show you some of the elements to that and how I do it. I think it's a good enough version for an open mic night, things like that. There is a YouTube video that James Taylor himself put on how to play this song, and if you're interested, it's a great video. It's just fun just watching him do it, and you can learn a lot about his fingering and things like that, and it's on YouTube. Just do a search on James Taylor, Fire and Rain, maybe throw in tutorial there and you might find it. But I'll show you some of the elements here that I'm using here. If you've seen any of my other tutorials, I'm a two-finger picker. I use thumb and forefinger. And actually what I've done on this song is I've used the pick. I didn't use it at the very beginning, at the intro riff, which I'll show you. I kept the pick tucked up, if you can see that there, tucked up underneath my middle finger. And then as soon as I finished that riff, I just pulled it right out, and I was just picking. I don't have any rhyme or reason, and you can tell. Sometimes my rhythms get a little messed up. I made a couple of mistakes in there. But in general, I'm just trying to keep a rolling rhythm going. So let's get right to it. Let me show you. I hope you can see this. I'll move up a little bit. First thing is I've got the capo on 3. We're capo 3, which James Taylor does. I believe on the original recording he's capo 3. Might be capo 2, but I think it's capo 3. And so when I talk about all these things here, I'm going to speak as if the capo isn't on. So I'm going to refer to this as the 1st fret and the 2nd fret and 3rd fret and so on. I'm going to refer to this note, which is actually a G, but I'm going to refer to it as an E because I'm playing the E bass. So let's just pretend that this is the end of the guitar. That introductory riff is pretty simple. It's basically the shape that I use is if you know your D minor 7th shape, which would be covering the top 2 strings here, 1 and 2 on the 1st fret, and then you're going to cover the 3rd string, the G string, on the 2nd fret. Now I usually play that in this shape. I hope you can see that. I've got my first 2 fingers on the 1st fret there on the 2 high strings, and then I'm bringing my ring finger right in there for the G string and putting it on the 2nd fret. So you take that shape, but you just move it up 1, 2, 3 frets. Okay, so you're starting at the with your ring finger there on the 4th fret. Now down here, what you're playing with your fingers for that, with your right hand for that, it's only 2 notes to start, and it's a slide. So you're going to play the A string bass, and you're going to play the G string, which we've got down there, and you're going to slide that up from that position up to here. And so it's just 1 pick, and you slide it up. So it's, okay, do that again. And then from there, you're just going to play this chord, and I play it with my index finger just coming back. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. So the way I would play that is I'm going to come up from right here, and I'm going to go. Kind of missed it there. Try it again. Okay. And then you're going to do a very similar thing, sliding it back down. Only when you slide back down, you're not going to be playing the A string, you're going to be playing the E string bass. So coming up, it's the A string and the G string. Coming up, A string and G string. Going back down, it's going to be G string and E string. Okay. So we're going to slide up. We're on A string and G string with that same shape, that D minor 7th shape. And we're sliding up 2 frets. And then with my index finger, 1, 2, 3. Do that again. Slide 1, 2, 3. And now slide back down with the G string and the E string bass. Slide 1, 2, 3. Okay? So it's. So sliding back down, you're in that same position, but you're grabbing your G string and your E string, and and then playing the same. 1, 2, 3. Okay. So far we are. And now it's going to be a D, regular old D, and I play it with a pick on the. I use my thumb and index finger. You can see what I'm doing there. So it's just. So you're starting with your middle finger off that D chord. I'm sure there's a name for that chord. I wish I should have looked it up before I did this, but it's the same kind of sound when you would do that D suspended. Okay. Okay, and you're going to end it with the A. So it's going to be, okay, now what I did before, and what I like to do on this, is that's when I get to the A chord, that's when I grab my pick. That's when I start using the pick. So I was going, and I'm using the pick there. And now you're doing that suspended off the A. It's a regular standard A chord. So that's your B string, playing your regular A, and you're going up on the B string, the second string, to the 3rd fret to get that suspended. Back down, and then pick up your ring finger, and then back to the regular A. When James Taylor plays his A chord, he plays it as if he's playing an A 7th chord. Probably familiar with that, where you've got this is almost like an A major 7th. I'm sorry. This is an A 7th where I'm on either side of the G string on the B and the D, and then you put your finger back here. Familiar with that chord? I know it's kind of hard to see, but we're at the 1st fret G string, and then we're at the 2nd fret D and B string. Excuse me. He takes that shape, and he just moves his index finger up a fret. So he squishes them all in there like that. He does that because he does that obviously a lot in a lot of his different songs. I can't play it that way. I just play it. So whatever's more comfortable for you, okay? So far, here's what we've got. And now it's an E. And now we've got kind of an interesting chord here. It's a G, a major 7th, but you're also playing, I guess that's a D. You're playing that D by playing the B. So rather than a regular old G, we have this G where you put your ring finger on the B string. Okay. You're probably all familiar with that. I call that the Gordon Lightfoot G string. And rather than playing it as a regular G major, you play it as a G major 7th. So I'm going to with my index finger get on the 2nd fret right up here, on the 2nd fret with the high E string. Okay, so that's and then I'm picking that. So again, starting from the beginning. Now in E. Okay, that's that G 7th, G major 7th, with the D added on the B string. Okay, so that's the the verses kind of go that way, and then the chorus. Actually, the chords are the original chord when you start singing the verses. What I do is rather than playing the full A chord, I pick up here, and I pick up with my index finger, and I'm just using 2 fingers. I'm using them on the. It's your regular A chord, but pick up your ring finger. It's just kind of a more interesting sound. And at the end of each phrase is when I'm kind of resolving that, and I'm coming back. But that's not till the end of the phrase. So I will play this A, and then it goes to E minor. It goes to D, and then back to that A, back to an E major, and then up to the G major 7. And what I'm talking about with this A is, for example, just yesterday morning, they let me know you were gone. That's where I'll resolve it at the end of the phrase. Suzanne, the plans they made put an end to you. Now I'm only playing the unresolved. Walked out the